Hello everybody and welcome to my week 1 team builder video against the real PETA and the Sesame Street Sceptiles. He has a team of Tapu Koko, Pelipper, Vaporeon, Gudra, Escavalier, Vikavolt, Mega Swampert, Reuniclus, Hawlucha, Chandelure, and Beartick. So he has a very offensive, rain-centered team. And so the team I'm bringing this week will be one of Breloom, Mamoswine, Megaltaria, Celesteela, Muckalola, and Seismitoad. My team's pretty balanced. It has some offensive threats, but a lot of strong defensive threats, and I really have the intention of, for the most part, walling out his offense. His offense is very strong, but it's also pretty predictable, and I think I have the reliable checks I need to stop him so long as I don't get hexed. So yeah. First up on the team is Breloom. It's named on Breloom for Reggie, because I felt bad about not bringing Big Bird to the finals. Yeah, Breloom is a bit of a pain for him to deal with. He's waffling what to bring in this slot. I was thinking about a Lantern possibly, but I decided to go on Breloom. I really want something that could deal with his Vaporeon reliably, because the rest of my team doesn't necessarily do that unless Seismitoad has Water Absorb, but I didn't want to have Water Absorb Seismitoad. So Breloom should be able to deal with it reliably. Originally I had Refresh on my set, just so that I could switch it on a Scald, and if I get burnt it's no big deal. But unfortunately I decided I don't have the space for Refresh in order for my Breloom to do what it wants to do, so I will either need to avoid switching this in on Scalds for the first time for my Toxic Orb to activate, and then thereafter I can switch on Scalds fine, or at some point I may just have to bite the bullet and take 30% chance. It's unfortunate, but I don't think I really have a way around it. This set is Spore, Seed Bomb, Focus Punch, Substitute, and this mainly does works against his Vaporeon and his Pelipper. So I can come in on either Vaporeon or Pelipper and just substitute on them. And if either one of them wants to stay in, Vaporeon definitely should not want to stay in, but if for whatever reason it decides it wants to, I can Spore it after a certain amount of substitutes if I know he's going to stay in, or same thing with Pelipper, I can Spore it. But I ideally want to get a substitute so that I don't have to necessarily Spore his water type, because his water type, especially if I get my Toxic Orb off, isn't going to be an enormous threat to me because Breloom should be able to handle them fine. It's going to be, I more want to be able to deal with what's coming in, and the things that are coming in most likely are possibly Tapu Koko if he's expecting a Spore to keep the sleep away, although Tapu Koko definitely does not appreciate a Technician Bullet Seed, and although I don't have it, he has to be fearing it. Or something like Chandelure, which if I Spore, or if I sub on it as it comes in, I can Spore it and put it to sleep. And if he wants to bring out his Gudra, expecting a Grass move or trying to absorb the Spore with its Sap Sipper, I can sub on it and hit it with a Focus Punch. And this Focus Punch is EV'd with these 48 attack EVs to always kill Gudra after rocks, assuming it's max speed, which I think is what you want to bring against me because it speed ties my Mamoswine. And outruns Breloom, and yeah, I think that's just ideally what you want out of a Gudra in this matchup. So yeah, sub punch. I should just basically be able to substitute on Pelipper and threaten to put things to sleep. And Pelipper really has to come for his rain to function. So yeah, that's why it's here. It just does a good job of dealing with his water types and applying pressure to the rest of his team. So next up is my Mamoswine. This is probably my primary win condition. It against his team, ice switch-ins are very limited. He's got, for ice resist, Vaporeon, Chandelure. Vaporeon can definitely take an Earthquake as well, but Chandelure definitely cannot. So Vaporeon's really his only reliable switch into my Mamoswine, which works well with Breloom because Breloom can come in and start abusing that Vaporeon to apply pressure to the rest of his team. So his only reliable options to deal with my Mamoswine are his Vaporeon and his Pelipper possibly. Freeze Dry allows me to hit the Pelipper if I know it's coming in and bring it to a pretty, do a very sizable chunk, like 60-ish. I was hasty. I used to be hasty, but I decided to change to Jolly because I really didn't want to have that minus defense. Because a few games, a few mucks, I decided that if a Bear Tick came and it had Aqua Jet and got up in SD, Mamoswine's probably one of my best ways to deal with it. I cannot survive at +2 Aqua Jet while being hasty, but I can if I'm Jolly. So I decided I'd rather be Jolly, and I do lose out on killing Pelipper after rocks, but it does come very close to killing Pelipper after rocks. I think it's a roll. But yeah, this is probably my primary win condition. Earthquake plus Icicle Crash decimates his team, and if he doesn't bring Vaporeon or Pelipper, or if lets either of them get weakened, which Breloom does a very effective job with partnering with Mamoswine, because it takes on its 2 checks very well. Yeah, so these two are hopefully going to be able to offensively pressure his team to the point where Mamoswine is able to win it. Next is my Mega Altaria. Mega Altaria is here like pretty much purely so I don't lose to Hawlucha. It can take a +2 acrobatics after rocks, assuming it comes in on regular form. Although ideally I don't want to have to do that, I can. Max attack adamant +2, no item acrobatics does a maximum of 70, I think. Poison jab actually does less than acrobatics. And Hyper Voice kills even max HP Hawlucha in a single hit. So yeah, this is my primary way, my guaranteed assured way to not lose to Hawlucha. However, I also have return on this to make it, if Hawlucha doesn't come, a pseudo check to Goodra. Return Oko's Goodra because, also, yeah, another reason why Goodra would want to be max speed is the speed to Altaria. Because Goodra's got some crazy Spidef, but its defense is pretty lacking, so return allows me to Oko Goodra, while Hyper Voice allows me to Oko Hawlucha, and I can't use return on Hawlucha because the Electric Seed's going to give him a defense boost. So I have to have both the Fairy Stabs to hit those 2 different giant threats. Flamethrower is just to hit the Escavalier if I need to, or the Bear Tick. Actually, I think that my Fairy moves hit him harder, especially in the rain. But yeah, Flamethrower hits Vikavolt too, which I don't do super well against with my team. And Risk just with recovery if I need it. So that's the Altaria. Mainly here for the Hawlucha, also can help with the Goodra, especially if Hawlucha doesn't come. And I got 8 speed EVs to outrun a Goodra if he decides to go super bulky and not invest in speed at all, or to outrun things like Vaporeon or Pelipper if they decide to curb no speed. Altaria. Next I have my Celesteela. This is my primary switch into his Swampert, and it does a pretty good job of it, especially with Giga Drain and Leech Seed. I can pretty much gain or like stay at a solid amount of HP, even though Swampert's waterfalls are doing quite a bit in the rain to me. Giga Drain allows me to gain almost all that back and to it KO, especially if I get a Leech Seed up and then Giga Drain him. So yeah, max defense just to deal with Swampert better. This is also my primary check to his Escavalier. Escavalier is not a giant problem for my team, especially because there's really just nothing an Escavalier can do to Celesteela. I don't have a move to hit Escavalier, unfortunately, because, well, since it can't do anything to me, I'm not super worried about it. But Giga Drain plus Heavy Slam hits the rest of his team pretty well. I can hit Coco hard with Heavy Slams if I think it's coming in. I can Giga Drain both of these two, although they take it pretty fine. Heavy Slam allows me to hit Goodra a lot harder, which is the main reason I wanted it, as opposed to Air Slash or Flamethrower, which I originally had, because I felt my team was a bit weak to Goodra. I do have nothing to hit Vikavolt since I'm not running Flamethrower or Air Slash, but typing wise, this thing doesn't really usually want to stay on Vikavolt anyways. I got Giga Drain for the Swampert, which is what it's primarily checking, so I need the Giga Drain. Reuniclus Heavy Slam hits it harder than the other moves, but although this is not my primary check to Reuniclus at all. Since I don't have Air Slash, I can't really super check Coco. I can protect on its HJKs if I need to, though. Heavy Slam probably does an okay amount of damage. I never want to stay in a Chandelure, probably, though. And Bear Tick. This is probably my best check to Bear Tick. I think Heavy Slam Okos. I actually don't think I've ever calced that, though. I will pull that up real quick. Bear Tick. No, it doesn't. I'm actually slightly surprised about that, but it does do a very sizable amount, allowing me to check Gudra. So yeah, that's my Celesteela. Next up is my Muck. This is just max Spadef all the way. Knock off, Poison Jab, Clear Smog, Recycle. Recycle plus Gluttony and Iapapa allows me to really stay around the length of the game if I need to. And this is just my primary check to his special attackers, because typing-wise it beats them both pretty handily. Reuniclus can never beat this. Chandelure can never beat this unless they're like trick variants or something. Clear Smog allows me to never get beat up by Reuniclus, even if it sets up on me and like possibly tries to like set up so hard that Focus Blasts don't or begin to kill me. Clear Smog alleviates me of that problem. It also keeps me from being set up fodder for Hawlucha, because if Hawlucha comes in on this, I can just spam Clear Smog and it can never really get off anything on me. Also, I forgot to mention, now that I'm talking about Hawlucha, Ice Shard is on this, even though it's Scarf to hit Hawlucha. Yeah, just thought I'd mention that. So yeah, Clear Smog allows me to do to not be Hawlucha setup bait, and also just keep Reuniclus from setting up on me. Knockoff with Poison Jab and just Stab allows me to hit Coco with the Poison Jab, because this thing actually can wall Coco decently. It needs to be specs to 2-hit KO or hit me with a Z move, and I'm pretty sure the Z move has to be Electrium Z. And even then, I'm pretty sure if he Electrium Zs and I'm at a decent amount of health and it activates my berry, I can just recycle the next time and he can't really ever kill me. So this actually is a decent pseudo check to Coco if I need it to be. Poison Jab allows me to do serious damage to the Coco, and Knockoff allows me to hit Reuniclus and Chandelure both very hard and deter switch-ins, besides like possibly Mega Swampert, but I've got some decent answers to Mega Swampert, including my Breloom. My Breloom, oh, I forgot to mention my Breloom's max HP, or it used to be max HP. I toned it down a little bit to get those EVs to kill Gudra after rocks, but it allows me to never die to Vaporeon's Ice Beam, because I do come close to being killed by an uninvested Ice Beam otherwise. And it also allows me to take any given hit from Swampert if I need to. Ice Punch is doing something like 70 to 80, but I can take it and kill back with Seed Bomb. So yeah, Knockoff deters switch into really anything besides Swampert, because nothing really likes losing their items. So yeah, that's the Muck. Lastly is my Seismitoad, which is pretty cool in this game. It's offensive Seismitoad with Swift Swim. So this allows me to take advantage of Pita's Rain that he'll be setting up with Pelipper if he chooses to bring it. So yeah, I'm able to use his Rain against him, and I'm faster than Mega Swampert, which is fantastic, meaning I can hit Swampert with a Grass Knot. Originally I had Expert Belt on the set, meaning I could always Oko Swampert. Now I've moved it to Rindo, which means it's a roll. Depending on whether I have rocks are up or not, or if he takes any chip, it can go in either way's favor. But yeah, Grass Knot, 30% chance, assuming no investment, which I don't think he should invest heavily in HP, although he could. And yeah, 30%, and with rocks up, 75%. So, okay. Earth Power almost always Oko's Tapu Koko. No investment. Got 93. If he puts in the 64 EVs he gets, if he speed creeps Greninja and puts them all on HP, goes to a 62% chance, which is still in my favor. I have the Rindo Berry to eat a Grass Knot from Tapu Koko off of a lead if I want to, because this is probably going to be my lead. Because really the only things that make sense on his team to lead with are like maybe Gudra, but I don't think he would. But that would be an issue for me if he does lead with it. But most likely Tapu Koko to get him some momentum, and also his coverage just kind of can wreck my team. Although it is almost so obvious that I can pretty easily catch him with a Scarfed ground type. But mainly his most common leads are going to be Tapu Koko and Pelipper. Against Pelipper, I can just throw up my rocks pretty free because he doesn't know at that point whether I'm Swift Swim or Water Absorb, so he really doesn't want to hit me with a Scald. And even if he does hit me with something, it's not doing too much damage. So I can instantly throw up rocks because Pelipper is really not very threatening if he leads with Pelipper. Or if he leads with Koko, I can eat up his Grass Knot if you want to hit me with it and kill him with an Earth Power, and getting Koko out of the game instantly is absolutely fantastic. Not only because Koko is an enormous threat, but it also hinders Hawlucha and makes Hawlucha pretty much a non-threat as well. So with Swift Swim, I can Earth Power Koko under Rain to revenge it. I can Surf or Earth Power the Chandelure. Just hit most of his team for sizable damage. Grass Knot, Swampert, like I said before. I was debating between Surf and HP Electric. HP Electric allows me to take out the Koko, or take out the Pelipper, because Pelipper kind of walls me. If I don't take HP Electric, decided on Surf because it's a better move to hit Beartic with if Rain is up, allowing me to do more damage to it. It allows me. It's just a really nice neutral move in general. If anything's in range of Surf and everything else. So if, I don't need to click Earth Power on Koko because it's low, and Rain makes Surf powerful enough that I can just click Surf and his switch-ins take it harder. And Vikavolt allows me to deal better with Vikavolt because I would be walled by Vikavolt if I had HP Electric, Grass Knot, Earth Power, and Vikavolt is a fairly decent problem to my team, especially because typing-wise, Mamoswine and Seismitoad are the best ways to deal with it. Neither of them have anything that hits it super hard. So I would at least like both of the things to have a move that can hit it at least hard neutrally, if I needed to. So that's the team. I'm feeling fairly confident about it. I do feel the team could be a bit more optimized, especially my Breloom. I don't know, I'm not a giant fan of the Scald weakness, but I'm gonna have to deal with it, unfortunately. But I do feel fairly confident about the matchup, and hopefully you can come out with the win.